Talk to the wife.
Well, that's important.
She had some questions about the turnovers.
I bet she did.
All right, Coach, we'll open on you whenever you're ready.
Really proud of the group. This is a good victory. Grand Canyon had won 4 out of 5. Obviously, one of the hotter teams in the league right now, and so and they'd done it on the road at New Mexico, at Boise. So they had our full attention, and I thought defensively we really came out with the right mindset. Really, the first half was, I thought, really solid, both ends of the floor. So good victory against a team that can be difficult to play against. They're very physical on the ball, pretty handsy and scrappy. So I thought, again, a solid effort.
Did you feel like tonight needed to start with matching that kind of defensive energy, and especially the job that you did on man?
Yeah, we did a great job on man. We did a great job on number 20, Lamandola. I don't think she scored, but it was important that we got off to a great start. And yes, the individual matchups were key, but we switched, and a lot of kids had those assignments, and that was going to be the key to the game. Is can we get off to a really good start defensively? And we challenged the kids all week before the game today, is to get back to. That's kind of how we were early in the year. That's how we went into those tough road environments and put ourselves in a position to win, is because of the defense. And I think the last couple games we've let teams get off to really good starts and gain some confidence. And tonight everybody was locked in and did their job.
The other aspect that stood out to me was your three-point shooting. So this season, it's been a low, really going back to 2019-20 season, that you were this ineffective at three. And a lot of that falls on Hannah, obviously, as your one experienced three-point shooter. How good was it for you to see her hit her first and maybe, puff her chest out a little bit instead of sag the shoulders?
Yeah, that was really neat to see. And Hannah's such a competitive young lady, and she so badly wants to help a team win. And she knows her shooting is very important to us. And so we ran that first action for her, and she shot it with great confidence. And really, that's all you can do, is just put a good stroke on it. And that was nice to see. And then I think it allowed her to just here we go, finally. And then made it her next couple. And so we need that.
Yeah.
We need that. She needed that, but it can help us spread the floor. And so nice to see her get going. But it was just going to be a matter of time. She's had a couple of tough games, but it's a long season. Every shooter goes through a slump. Steph Curry, Sabrina, they all go through some tough stretches. And she just been through a little one, but seniors find their way through it, and that's what Hannah's doing and did tonight.
But your team shot well from three tonight. That's something you're really going to need down the stretch, right?
Totally. And our most consistent shooter, like Chloe's been really consistent. Brooke, those are the two kids that you can count on. They're going to knock down a couple each game. They're the reliable ones right now. But Bargesser saw a couple go down tonight. But if we can just be a threat from that three ball at a little better pace we've been here so far this season, that's how this basketball team can grow. I mean, we still, I don't know, I thought we were going to maybe get over 70 points tonight, with 36 at half, but too many turnovers in the second half. And Grand Canyon was really active on the ball. But defensively, we challenged them to get better. We challenged them to value the ball better. We're still not there yet. Too many loose decisions with the ball.
You mentioned the turnovers. I think 14 tonight, but I think by my count, there were 5 offensive turnovers because you took a foul, because you were being aggressive. Do you almost accept those a little bit, because
a little bit.
Your team has been a little tentative at times offensively this year?
Yeah. And a couple of them, we had an illegal screen, and then we had some stuff at the rim. And as long as you're being aggressive, those are okay plays. And if you're playing off at 2 feet and playing the right way, and so our mindset was right where it needed to be tonight. And we happened to get some offensive fouls, but the aggressiveness is positive, because you can't go into games this time of year. Everybody's good. If you're tentative, you're not winning.
But
you
was-
better be playing to win.
But was that also a good sign because your team has struggled a little bit offensively, so you get a tendency to be tentative?
Totally.
They came out aggressive tonight, and so was that their way of telling you through action, we're going to fight through this?
Totally. Again, their mindset and how they approach the start with the ability to get the ball in the paint, to attack the basket, and to finish, and to get the ball into Bragg, and for her to finish was just what we ordered. And I mean, you can see how important Brooke is to us. Like when Brooke was in foul trouble and she was on the bench, that's when we struggle. You know, she can. It's hard for teams to put a lot of heat on the ball with Brooke. She's a blow-by, she's a bursty kid, and then it opens up our three ball. And so, but when she was on the bench, we're a little more susceptible to ball pressure. And so, we need her on the floor.
Going back to that aggressive, you're talking about aggressive first half, aggressive defense. Only 5 fouls though, defending without fouling. Was that a key that you like to
That's
see?
just a big part of how we go about every game, right? You don't want to create offense by silly fouls. And so that just means our group was connected. We played with really good discipline. And yeah, we always say no unnecessary fouling. And so that was key.
Thanks, Coach.
Sure.
All right, thanks everybody.
Brian Williams ever have a shooting slump?